Hi everyone, how are you? My name is Marla Fernandez and I just wanted to come out live and finish the book that I was doing, reading the book and explaining what our nation is about. So the objective of the federal government is to keep and hold the union together. What does that mean? It means that the authority to govern is divided between the federal and the states. Our colonies went to war with England and fought for independence. Their main objective was liberty. Our founding fathers wanted to have the right to govern themselves. I've studied the history of America very well, and I'm planning on going to law school, and hopefully, with God's will, I will score well on the LSAT and get in. That is my biggest mark. The Articles of Confederacy failed to organize a good government. The objectives of the Constitution are as follows. This is the preamble. We, the people of the United States, in order to form a more perfect union, establish justice, ensure domestic tranquility, provide for the common defense, promote the general welfare, and secure the blessings of liberty to ourselves and our posterity. To ordain and establish this Constitution for the United States. Parse the 6 objectives of the Constitution. First, the federal government was organized to serve those purposes. They are just as important today as they were in 1787. We, the people, to form a more perfect union. What does this mean? It means that the Constitution was a better plan. The Founding Fathers, in their experience and their wisdom, they selected the right objectives and the right balance between the federal government and the state government. The Union has lasted 250 years. And yesterday was a great day to celebrate fireworks. So all 50 states form a perfect union. Our union is strange in many ways, and it is different than every government in the whole entire world. And this is why we must fight to preserve our liberty and our freedom from government and tyranny. Each state has its own authority, and each state can act without the authority of the federal government. When you're looking to decide whether we should change or amend the Constitution, always think to yourself and think about what the Founding Fathers would have thought. To form a more perfect union should be the objective in everything the government does. We, the people, to establish justice. What does that mean? In today's world, when you think about the second purpose in the Constitution, to establish justice, oftentimes you think of social justice. But what does that mean? That's just a social construct, a terminology that is used by the global elites to push an agenda against our Constitution that is for population control. But the term justice means to be fair in making and carrying out the laws. This thought was taken from the Declaration of Independence. King George III had not been fair and just to the colonists. Ask yourself, is the government being fair and just with every single American citizen when they are making these laws? The Declaration of Independence told why the colonists wanted to organize their own government. They wanted fair laws. Are our laws fair and equal for every single American citizen, regardless of race, regardless of ideas, regardless of opinions, regardless of political ideology? Our founding fathers wanted officers who were fair and balanced in enforcing those laws. Are our politicians fair and balanced? Do they have good moral character? Under the Constitution, all persons must obey the law. One man may be rich and another poor, yet both are equal before the law. Both must obey the law. Both can demand that the law protect them in the use of all their rights, like our freedom of speech. Right now, Twitter is still censoring speech. YouTube, Facebook, even when you're walking around talking to your neighbors, they try to censor speech or talk over you and fight you for your ideology. And they take offense to your opinions. The government may punish one who does not obey the law, whether he is rich or poor. In some countries, there are different laws for different people, but in America, this is not true. Any person who breaks our laws can be punished. Even judges can be sent to prison if they don't obey the law. Even lawyers who are not defending our rights can be punished. The third purpose in the Constitution is we the people, to ensure domestic tranquility. What does that mean? It means that to ensure domestic tranquility means that to make sure that we have peace at home. So the federal government needs to make sure that we have peace at home. The fathers of the Constitution wanted to put an end to quarrels among the states. Are we quarreling among the states right now? Yes, we are. The purpose of the federal government is to correct the conditions that cause the quarrels. So remove the President of the United States. Remove every Democrat from their seat. The Democratic Party is causing all the quarrels. The media is too. So how do we solve that problem? The federal government can help the states keep peace among the people. How? The federal government must protect the states against attacks by a foreign government. If a state asks for it, the federal government will protect the state against armed attack at home. Each state has generally been able to put down attacks within the boundaries, but the nation always stands ready to ensure domestic tranquility. We, the people, to provide for the common defense. That's the next point. Fourth purpose of the Constitution is like the third. In some ways, the Constitution took the authority to declare war away from the states. The power was delegated to the federal government. So in 1789, foreign nations owned land on three sides of the United States. The British were on the north in Canada. The French owned Louisiana Territory on the west. The Spanish were Florida to the south. The fathers of the Constitution knew that if these nations would attack one of the states, the federal government would have to help. Common means all. The federal government should have the power to defend all states. That is why our founding fathers acquired each of the states that they needed in this land, big mass of land. The Constitution divides the duty of making a defense between the Congress and the President. The Congress is given authority to declare war. It has the authority to say how large the armed forces of the nation shall be and how the members shall be selected. But the Constitution places the President at the head of the armed forces, so he is commander-in-chief. The next point. We the people to promote the general welfare. What does that mean? The fifth purpose is to promote the general welfare. Now, the general welfare has been eroded over time, and we will go over it after I finish this little book that I'm finishing reading with you. To promote means to work for. General means all or the whole. Welfare means good or success. The government should work for the good of all people. Is the government currently working for the good of all people? I question whether they are. And I question whether Democrats really even know what the good of all people is. When they try to take away our rights, to own and bear arms, to censure our speech, that's not working for the good of all people. That's working against the people. The people had many troubles when the war with England was won. Young people had been in the army when they were needed at home to raise the crops. Many of them had been killed in battle or died in camps. The house, shops, and factories had gone without repair. Food and clothing were hard to get. Prices were high, just like now. The people were in debt, just like now. Taxes had to be paid, just like now. The father of the Constitution, therefore, said that the new federal government should do things to help all people, not burden them like they are doing now. They're burdening us with taxes. They're burdening us with high prices. They're burdening us by taking away our right to own our own businesses, free from government interference. We, the people, to secure the blessings of liberty to our posterity. The last purpose stated in the preamble is that the people shall always be free to govern and to enjoy their liberty. Right now, we are not free to govern ourselves and to enjoy our liberty. We are being crushed. Our freedoms are being chipped away. They're giving us, the government is actually usurping our freedom to do what we want and instilling new freedoms, like the freedom to abortion, which is not really a freedom because we have life, and if we have abortion, then it kind of trumps a life. So our life is not being protected right now because of the right to abort our own life within our body. This thought was copied from the Declaration of Independence. The fathers of the Constitution believed that all men have the right to life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. King George III and the Parliament had refused to respect these rights, just like the government is doing right now. The government is refusing to respect all our rights to life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. Special examples were set out in the Declaration of Independence. So if you want to understand your rights, you must read the whole Declaration of Independence in its entirety. The fathers of the Constitution wanted to make certain that the people always control the government. Right now, we're not controlling our government, and this is bad. They said that the government should never become strong enough to take away the rights of the people. Right now, our government is trying to take away our rights to free speech, to own and bear arms. They're trying to, they tried to guard the rights for all future citizens by limiting the authority of the federal and state governments. So the federal and the state governments have a limited right to govern and to manage the federal government. They listed special things that our government cannot do. And these are the things that they cannot do. If you want to look at them more, you should read the Declaration of Independence. The limits placed on the authority of the government have made it impossible for the government to become too strong. It is trying really hard today to become really, really strong. And it is us and it is our job as the people in the United States who are fully protected in the Constitution to rise up. The people have been free to go to the officers and to the courts to demand protection. Right now, we must demand protection from the courts from this freedom of speech. So each person who has been infringed or abridged, or their speech has been abridged online or offline, must sue the government. And they must sue every corporation working against our freedoms. The Constitution declares that our children and their children shall be free to enjoy their rights in the same way the fathers of the Constitution made this possible for us and for them. For every right that we enjoy, there is a duty that we owe to others. If we want to keep our duty, then we must carry out our duty. Only in this way can we secure the blessings of liberty to our children and their children in the future. So it is my duty to tell you and educate you about your rights that are being infringed upon right now. Abortion is not a right. And you have a limited right to vote. Your right and your duty in voting is to be sure that you are informed and educated on each and every candidate and what their objective is. You must not vote for a candidate that is Republican or Democrat if that candidate is compromised by money, by endorsements, by special favors. You must make sure that each candidate upholds your rights and will protect and defend them, or we will lose them.